Piero della Francesca is recognized as one of the greatest artists of the Renaissance, but in his own lifetime, he was also renowned and sought after as a brilliant mathematician. Piero della Francesca was born and died in San Sepolcro, where he also served as a city councillor. At some point, he was invited to Urbino, and between 1469 and 1486, Piero worked for Federico di Montefeltro. The flagellation is one of the most controversial pictures of the early Renaissance, and the identity of the persons in the painting are even now the subject of intense debate. There he also painted the double portrait of Federico and his wife Battista Sforza, that is now in the Uffizi, and in 1474, the monumental Pala di Brera. Only a handful of his paintings exist outside of Italy, and some of his most powerful, such as the Madonna del Parto, is still kept in a small country chapel.
Born in the Netherlands, Pier Mondrian was a revolutionary artist, thinker, and theorist of the 20th century. Yet the meaning of his art is truly universal and relevant to our present day as well as our future. Mondrian embraced abstraction and produced seemingly rigid grid-like paintings created by intersecting simple black lines and combining them with primary colors. As is often the case in art, the context and the historical circumstances are key to understand the meaning of his work. Composition number 1 with grain red, Composition with Red, is among the very few paintings that he completed in London, where he moved to in 1938, fleeing from the imminent war in Europe before relocating to the United States.
In Urbino, Piero met the painters Fra Carnevale, Justus van Gent, and the mathematicians Frau Luca Pacioli, and probably also Leon Battista Alberti. Piero's work on solid geometry was translated in Pacioli's Divina Proporzione, illustrated by Leonardo da Vinci. Piero's deep interest in the theoretical study of perspective and his contemplative approach to his paintings are apparent in all his work, and 3 treatises have survived to the present day. Piero was encouraged by his patron, the Duke of Montefeltro, and in the late 1450s, Piero copied and illustrated the works of Archimedes, who remained an inspiration. At the court of the Duke of Montefeltro, he also met Cardinal Bessariona and the brilliant young German mathematician Regiomontanus. Mathematical theory remained fundamental to Piero's later artworks, and a rigorous geometric structure underpins all his mature works, including the flagellation, still in Urbino, the baptism of St. John at the National Gallery in London, and here the Pala di Brera in Milan.
While Mondrian was influenced by scientific theories, and aesthetically his work portrays a connection with the realm of mathematics, the relationship between his practice and such notions is more complex. Behind the apparent austerity of his work lies a distinctly human and intuitive premise. Affected by World War I and the impending Second Global Conflict, Mondrian rejected representation and perceived nature to be flawed and approximate, masking the underlying truth of universal harmony. He aimed to remove any false manifestations to reveal the workings of the universe. By thus abstracting from nature, through his reduced rhythmic paintings such as this one, Mondrian wanted to instill a calming spiritual effect on us, the viewer, at a time of struggle.
Piero's paintings are deeply mystical, complex symbolically, and theologically suggestive. Although his works are all structured meticulously and informed by the latest mathematical theories, they are never sterile and never lose their profound humanity. The devotion they express is real, and the mathematics that organizes their composition is an expression of divine harmony.
Since the composition is constructed entirely on Mondrian's intuition, the outwardly sterile and detached impression that it may offer at first glance is, after all, personal and subjective. If we inspect it more closely, we can even notice how imperfect and uneven his brushstrokes are. Mondrian's stern works are therefore as human as any in history.
Piero was a child of the Renaissance, and his vision was shaped by the recovery of the past, including the writings of Archimedes, available in Greek for the first time thanks to Bessarion, while at the same time he was one of those creating a new pictorial language for the future. As Galileo was later to say, mathematics is the language with which God has written the universe.
Perhaps with the societal difficulties that we are undergoing today, there's a growing sense that a superficial layer is being removed, just like in Mondrian's paintings, in order to reveal the harmony and humanity that really binds us all together, and yet too often gets forgotten.
In Piero's painting, the harmony and humanity are on the surface to serve as a consolation, inspiration, or revelation. But all the same, the painting is full of mystery, the mystical ostrich egg suspended above the head of the Virgin, the mathematical architecture of the painting unseen but deeply felt under the surface of the story.